Hi, friends and fellow Earth Angels. It's Gladys, and welcome back to another one of my Pick a Card readings. I'm really excited about this reading. It is a reading that I was guided to do from my work as a spiritual advisor, an intuitive, somebody who is working with Earth Angels on an intimate level. A lot of the work I've been doing last year going into this year is going deep into the shadow of the subconscious. A lot of the work that I'm doing lately is shining a light on the unseen, the programs, the old beliefs, the old ways of doing things, the limiting thoughts, patterns, etc. And there's a lot of healing of the lineage. So I'm going to theme this reading, a pick a card reading, healing the bloodlines. And so from birth to about puberty, our experiences that we have get stored in this unseen part of us, right? We're not fully developed or aware in our consciousness yet, which is like the seen, the masculine, like the world as we see it. And so a lot of the experiences, it could be an experience with a bully. It could be an experience with a parent who didn't have the ability to meet our emotional needs. Especially Earth Angels. Earth Angels right now are learning how to comfort and self-soothe and nurture the inner parts of us. And a lot of times Earth Angels didn't have that growing up. Now, I want to make a disclaimer. This reading is not about blaming anyone. It's not about right or wrong, good or bad. It's not about really us going into the victim energy, like this happened to me, why me? So I really want to make that clear in the beginning of this reading. But what happens is, from what I'm seeing, what's happening is because of our experiences as a child, I see that in couples, marriages, partnerships with friends, people who choose the jobs that they choose, the bosses that they choose, a lot of times it comes from repeated patterns or repeated energies from childhood. So, for example, if you had a parent that was neglectful, let's say. Maybe they were caught up in their own stuff, and they weren't able to self-soothe us, so they weren't able to soothe us, comfort us in the way an Earth Angel needs. We can internalize that as we're bad, we're not good, and it really can go into that people pleaser. And what happens is, in the unseen, a lot of people aren't aware of that, and what happens is they can create relationships with people who are going to be neglectful of our needs. So, for example, I would like this reading to shine upon is those programs, and then how do you learn how to meet your own needs? When you meet your own needs, and everybody's needs are different, right? We have basic needs: love, affection, attention. For feminine energies, it's creative expression, spiritual connection. These are basic needs, right? And then there are other needs. Some people require sleep. Some people, if you know your love language, is physical touch and words of affirmation and things like that. So I would like to shine a light on what the unseen is. So this reading may be a little shadowy, meaning it might pull up some stuff that might activate you or trigger you. You know, be mindful of how your body's feeling when this stuff is coming up. Breathe through it. You know, I'm going to try to support you, but it's almost like we need to face the stuff. We need to see it. I myself have had quite a few epiphanies this last week through pain. I experienced a painful experience, and it opened up a bunch of stuff for me, and I'm kind of on the other end of it, which is beautiful. I always credit my incredible support system that I have, so I feel like this is something that I think is important to share. So, again, I'm going to choose the themes of healing through the bloodlines. I'm going to start with the soul's journey. We're going to pick the themes through this, what the soul wants us really to start with, the themes. Then we'll go into the mind using the power of surrender cards, the body with the chakra cards, and then the spirit with the Sufi wisdom. Then we'll go into the action, like what can be done, what action steps can we take, and then finally, overall message of what's being activated within you through these experiences. So, of course, I say that loosely because, I think I have a plan, and then the divine unfolds it in another completely different way. You may pick a reading and it may not be resonating with you. So trust your intuition, and maybe it's about recognizing the feeling that it doesn't feel right and you choose another one. All three could resonate with you. You could be watching a video that doesn't necessarily resonate with you, but you may have a conversation with somebody, or something may come up for you to share the reading with somebody else. So again, trust how this unfolds. Another disclaimer, remember, I am not a licensed therapist. I give spiritual guidance based on information that I receive from the divine, my own knowledge and wisdom, information that I've accumulated over time. So I would strongly encourage, if you are activated through this and stuff is coming up for you, I encourage you to seek out a licensed professional, or seek out guidance and support that feels right for you. All right, so let me start opening up space, and I'm going to invite in all your guardian angels and guides, the archangels, the ascended masters, God, source, creator of the universe, and all his holy beings of light that would like to assist with this guidance for you today, healing the bloodlines, ancestral lineage, so that you can expand your light. Okay, I chose... This is our happy place, because we have to remember that our bodies are our happy places. And if we're mentally, emotionally, spiritually, or physically out of alignment, it's going to affect everything. In a lot of ways right now, with the way the planets are aligning, we're being squeezed, right? I keep talking about the expansion of light. We're being squeezed in a way where there are parts of us that want to stay in the comfort zone. There are parts of us that want to stay small. And if those parts of us are within us, your environment, your world is going to reflect that back to you. People may try to discourage you. They might try to, fear love on you. Oh, don't do this. This might happen. So understand that all that is a reflection of what some stuff might be going on with us inside of you that you're unaware of. Okay, let's get into it. So let's pick 3 topics. I want to connect with all the ancestors of the Earth Angel Collective, spirit, their families, of course, the divine. What needs to be healed in the bloodline? Go 1 and 2. Oh, there's 3. All right, so let's pick our topics. First, we have health. I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. Love it. Then we have peace. I am a being of love, and I release all negative energy. And then the third, we have trust. I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. So with regards to the bloodline, let me see. This pile could be for anyone who may be challenged in health in the physical body. Maybe it's genetic stuff. Maybe it's your healing your diet. So if you're like me and you grew up with a very Italian Catholic family, we love our foods, our pastries, our pastas, the comfort food, right? So in turn, that can create some health issues, especially the way the food is being grown now, and the chemicals that are being sprayed over our food. So you might be being asked or challenged through your body to make adjustments to eat healthier. The piece here. So with this reading, I'm getting those of you who have families that may be addicted to drama, like the spikes. It could be families that are like, I want to say like meddling. And again, this isn't good or bad, right or wrong, black or white. It's families that might like, it's that narcissistic pattern. And remember, we all, to some degree, for Earth Angels, have that narcissist within, which can be a bully, which can be a critic. And so if you had somebody in your life who was harsh on you, critical of you, and it really, you're not feeling peaceful and fulfilled because there's like a lot of negativity or drama around you, this is your pile. And then trust. I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. I feel like this pile will be guided towards those who may have a hard time trusting God, trusting people in their lives. Maybe you had heartache. Maybe there was betrayal. Maybe you were raised by a single parent, and you're in a place where you're surviving on your own and you've got to make things happen, and it's really hard to open up to support, to receive assistance. Maybe there's some relationship stuff going on with you. Maybe there was unhealthy relationship dynamics in your lineage. Maybe there was abuse. Maybe as a child there was a violation of your own safety. Interpret that in any way that you receive that. So I feel like we've got big stuff here. So yeah, those are the topics. So if you don't want to watch me shuffle the rest of the cards, you can skip ahead. I'm going to put the timestamps in the link below. All right, so let's get into the mind, body, mind, health. So what do we need to know about the mind in regards to health? Clearing the bloodlines. What do we need to know about the mind in regards to health? Okay. I'm just going to stick them here. And peace. What do we need to know about peace in regards to the mind? And trust. What do we got to know about the mind with regards to trust? Body. What do we need to know? Body. What light needs to be shined on stuff about our body with health? Pile. And peace. The peace pile. What does the collective need to know about the body for the peace pile? Wow. Okay. And trust. Collective need to know about the body, the trust pile. Okay, let's see. Oh, there's two here. And spirit. What does the peace pile need to know? Sticky. Let's go with this. What does the peace pile need to know? What does the spirit, the peace pile, to know? And trust. Spirit. I want the trust pile to know. And action steps. The answer is simple. What action steps can the health pile take? And peace. What action steps can the... There's too many there. Let's see here. What action steps can the peace pile take? All right. And what action steps can the trust pile take? Okay. And finally, overall, final message. What is, through these experiences, what is being activated in the health pile? What's being activated through all of these experiences? What is being activated within them? And the peace pile. What's being activated through these experiences? Clearing the bloodlines with the peace pile. And trust. Wow. Whoa. We came right out. Oh, we're flying out. All right, so let me get these in order. Okay, friends. Let's see. So once again, we have the health pile, the peace pile, and the trust pile. All right, so for those of you who chose pile 1, the health pile, once again, clearing the lineage. Maybe some of you are changing the way you eat. Maybe you're getting healthier. Maybe you had a family of generations that didn't take care of themselves. This could also be mental health. I'm not going to exclude that as well. There's a lot of work that's being done on mental health, so you might be guided. So if you're feeling like maybe I need some spiritual support, or maybe I need to go to some therapy, from, my perspective on therapy, it's a relationship, and I think it's important for you to practice discernment, going online, looking at profiles, looking at information and what therapists are specialized in. For earth angels, I think it's important to work with somebody who is spiritual, because this is the way we operate. We're just kind of a different vibration on the planet. So working with other people that are open to that, I think is I've seen dramatic results. You could work with somebody who's traditional, and then maybe work with somebody like me who's more in the spiritual aspect. Maybe I can give you some shine a light on some like spiritual reasons why things happen the way they do, and I think it's important. So if some of you have been like, oh, I need to get exercising, or I need to make some adjustments in my diet, here it is. And know that as an earth angel, you're also helping your family for generations to come as you do that. So in the mind, what did the mind message? Surrender your desire to control people. Interesting. Being over controlling can sabotage your relationships. To more effectively achieve your goals, back off, regroup, and give the situation some breathing room. So I want to speak to the health portion of this. So some of you, as we're talking about clearing the bloodlines, some of you may had harsh critics growing up that focused on your weight and diet. So maybe you had eating disorders growing up, and it stemmed from a bully or somebody who picked on you because of the way you look. And what happens is we can go to that place of controlling. From personally, for somebody who has been challenged with eating disorders for 95% of my life, I would use food as control because my entire life was feeling out of control. This was a big part of the dark night of my soul stuff. So it could stem from somebody who may have been critical of you with regards to your health. Maybe you try to go get help or support in mental health and somebody made fun of you about it. And so the surrender in the mental mind. So this is like the healing of the mental mind and understanding that your desire to control people could be a reflection of your own fears of being out of control. A lot of times this is connected to lower back or back issues, lower back specifically, because control stems from fear in a lot of ways. So when you start to eat healthy, be mindful if you're changing your diet, be mindful that you are not controlling or being controlling of what you can and can't have, that you're not being hypercritical, that your process doesn't feel like punishment. Like, I can't have this because I'm bad or I eat too much. Like, I'm really suggesting you being very kind and supportive to yourself, making minor adjustments. My journey with food and weight has been at least the last 4 years, and making adjustments to what I eat. Eating foods that are nourishing and going to fuel my body. With regards to health, I made a choice not to eat anything after 8 o'clock. Nothing that's going to go in my mouth after 8 o'clock is going to nourish and fuel my body. I don't want to fuel my body at that time because then I'm up late. So for some of you who aren't sleeping, be mindful if you're eating sugary foods or chocolate at night, which can be a stimulant, and it can really, lack of sleep or lack of deep quality sleep can really affect your mind and how you function, right? The stimulants, and you wake up and have coffee and it becomes like a vicious cycle. That could also be if you're drinking a glass of wine at night to decompress, making sure that you're enjoying it and you're not having it just to like depress all the energy that was going on throughout the day, or not allowing it to be a coping mechanism to wind down for the night. So I told you, this is not you're bad, you're good. This isn't punishment. This is shining a light on if you're spinning your wheels and you don't know why things are the way they are and why can't I just make these adjustments. This is the reading that's going to shine a light on why. Maybe you had a controlling person in your life, right? Maybe you had a hypercritical person in your life growing up. It could have been just one experience. That the Earth Angel Collective is so sensitive, and we're not even aware how society affects us. And this is the dangerous part, right? Music, social media, TV, there's all this conditioning or this distortion that we're unaware of. And so I'm finding healers and intuitives like me and other light workers of the planet are shining a light on these things. And it really is, we've got to see it. In order to change, we've got to see it. So we're going deeper here. So the body message, what does the body want you to know? Creation. Okay, so this, so here's the thing. Creation here, this is the crown chakra. This is the crown chakra. This is the crown chakra, which is your intuition, your insight. So here's the thing. By not taking care of your body and feeling out of control with food, with like your mental health, emotional weight, it's easy to go in to control people. And this isn't always like I'm the boss. It's almost, sometimes it could be meddling. Sometimes it could be like poking your nose in other people's business with the wanting to help, and they may not want your help. And so what are you running away from, right? What are you trying to heal in others? Or what is a repetitive thing that keeps coming up for you that it can be a reflection of what you need to heal within yourself? So twofold here. So I'm also feeling the sacral chakra. Sacral chakra is your creative space. So we're talking about the body. We're talking about control, which is the distortion is held in the root chakra and the sacral chakra, your kidneys, which is like another cleanser. So I feel like this is the top and the bottom. So be mindful how fears can distort your perception and you drift farther away from creation, the divine. And I feel like your lineage, your ancestors are calling you back. They're calling you back to the basics. Drink your water, eat foods that are going to nourish your body. Like salads aren't a punishment, right? Eating healthy isn't a punishment. This is what like programs that we've been told, right? People, myself included, have used food for love in replace of love or filling a void and not feeling loved for eons. And so this is where there's this big movement right now with self-love, going within, right? Nurturing and love yourself on deeper levels. But this goes beyond the 3D and massage and getting your nails done and getting fresh air. This goes deeper. It's about going into the shadow and being able to make the connections and why you do what you do. And remember, earth angels right now are being activated in creation, creating new programs, creating new podcasts, new books, new waves of information are coming out, right? So I'm hoping that this is inspiring you. And I have to say, from my own journey that I've been on for the last couple of years, my intuition has only gotten stronger and more intensified. I have more clarity, and it's only come from me making adjustments to drinking mostly water. I have my coffee in the morning and then I drink water. It's very rare that I drink anything else but water and coffee in the morning. And I feel even closer to the divine. So also know that a shadow part could be sabotaging, right? Eating all those foods that are going to weigh you down. And also understand the stuff that you're listening to. If you're listening to the drama on TV shows or you're watching people's drama on social media, or if you're watching TV and there's all fighting and stuff, that's like, the more you experience that stuff, it's like going to McDonald's every day and eating like fast food. Like it's only a matter of time before you're going to start feeling disgusting, and that affects your mental mind. So it's all connected here, and then you're going to start controlling. You're going to be angry, you're going to feel like a bully, and then it's like controlling people and things because you're not feeling good within yourself. So I feel like the divine is saying here that inspiration and insight and next steps come into your physical body. Remember, for masculine, those who resonate and operate in the masculine energy, your intuition is your gut and your mind, right? For feminine energies, it's in our heart, in our physical body. We feel in our body. For men, it's like, or masculine energies, they just know, like, this is what I'm going to do. And then they take action and mentalize it. So the universe is saying right now, we need you to clear this so that you can receive the downloads from the divine to be the light on the planet. Wow, I feel like we're going deep here. All right, so let's go into the spirit. What does the spirit part of you want you to know? Open mind. Yes. It says replace the old cycle with a new and exciting one. I mean, this is so perfect. I mean, you have this eye, right? I feel like this is God saying, I've got my eye on you. That you can be so high up, this is that you can be anywhere in the world, and I've got my eye on you. I'm loving you. I'm supporting you. I also feel like open mind here is the divine is saying, I want to bring you to the present moment. The present moment is where all the signs are. The present moment is where you see God. Let's say you see God in the animals, you see God in numbers, you see repetitive symbols, it could be butterflies, it could be dragonflies, it could be cardinals. These are all spiritual symbols in the world. I personally keep seeing geese all around, and I love them. And so, of course, I go to my spirit animals book and I look it up and I receive the message and I'm like, okay, got it. So we're being called to hear the divine on deeper levels. Remember, it's in the unseen, right? And when you're filling your body with unhealthy foods and unhealthy distorted information, it's going to make it harder for you to be able to receive that, and it's easier to kind of drift into like the unconscious, is that the word I want you to, the sleeper world, the unconscious, right? And so earth angels right now need to be awakened. They need to be woke. And that's what I keep hearing out. Earth angels are woke. And in order to stay in that woke place, you need to maintain your spiritual energy just like your physical body. Okay, so mind, body, spirit. So action steps. Let's see here. What action steps can be taken? Oh, don't sweat the small stuff, right? This is being hyper vigilant on what everybody else is doing. It's toxic. It's not helping you. So, and it's interesting because we have 54 here and 4 plus 5 is 9. And it's saying don't sweat the small stuff. So maybe this is something that you can finish. So here's the thing. So if you're trying to eat healthy and you go out to dinner with friends or lunch with friends and you have that glass of wine or you have that dessert, don't sweat the small stuff. If it happens, great. Love yourself anyway. And if you're going to have it, really, truly enjoy it and savor it, right? For me, I just make a choice not to bring things home. If I'm out, I'm going to enjoy it. And I try my best to keep nourishing foods in my refrigerator. So try not to make the small things bigger than they are. Now, of course, I'm not going to downplay or I don't want you to belittle things, but understand that you're a human on this planet. And part of the fun of coming to Earth is chocolate, is being able to enjoy experiences. It's pleasure. Like, this is why souls come to Earth, to have experiences in all facets. So if you're getting too caught up on what everybody else is doing, if you're getting too involved in something that's not even yours, that you don't have control over, I feel like this message is saying this is the action steps that you can take. Back out and bring your attention back to yourself, your physical body. So keeping an open mind, this is a part of like being present. Be present in the moment. I always say spirit speaks to us in the present moment. And if your mind is so far in the future, so far in the past, it's depressed, you're suppressing emotions and experience, it's just going to cloud your vision, right? And distort what you're creating. And so God is saying, like, I need you pure. And this is not, this is not like, oh, you have to be devout and go to church every single week. And this is like on a deeper level. This is your own journey with the divine. This is your building your own relationship with God, and what his messages are for you, and how they're going to come to you is going to be different. So keep an open mind. I feel like with this is like you may think you're supposed to do something, and if it's not coming in, there might be another way or another option. And that's where I feel like God is saying, hey, if you hit a hiccup or bump, don't sweat the small stuff and really adjust your course. Okay, here. So final message. I want to put these here. Final message. What's being activated within you in this experience? Oh, passion. I love it. Again, 3 plus 4 is 7. 7 is a very spiritual number, and 7 is the energy of inner work. It is shadow work. It's going into the unseen. And so some of this stuff came up today so that you can understand your block, so that you can understand why things happen the way they do. I mean, earth angels, the thing that I love the most about earth angels is there's an innocence to us. There is a purity of love and a genuineness to really care for people. If we are not mindful that there are energies out there that can come and see that and want to manipulate, want to control, and want to take that. There's a lot of unfulfilled energies out there. Remember, we were all there at some point, right? And it was from there that we turned our pain into passion. And so it's no judgment on that energy, but we also have to stay connected to Creator to protect us, to keep us safe, right? Rejection is God's protection. So if there are people that are moving in and out of your life right now, there's distortion. If you're going through a physical illness right now, know that it could be God isolating you to stay safe, to nurture your body, to love and respect yourself on deeper levels. I know there's a lot of things going on out there, and so see it as a blessing. And so here, the message here says the frequency of passion reminds us that beneath every intense emotion lies the hidden gem of insight, balance, and calm. It assists us in finding the balance within this intensity, moving us from chaos to the calm of its core, where we can let its long-lasting wisdom fill us up. Well, so here I feel like the divine Creator is speaking to turning your pain into passion, your pain into channeling it into something, making something of it, right? I am who I am because of the experiences that I had in childhood, right? I am very passionate about my mediumship work and helping people understand death and grief and loss and the other side. And I get incredible messages that come through, very profound healing that happens in those readings. And it's because I lost my grandmother when I was young, and it was just kind of swept under the rug. And I was grieving for many years that transformed into anger and rage and feeling misunderstood. And so I know that, because of the grief, there was a lot of challenges that I had growing up. So, if I could now take that pain and turn it into a passion to help people to not have to suffer as long as I did, so be it. I'll do it again 10 times over. Because I've embraced that part of my life to ignite the passion that I have now. So one more thing I want to say about this, about passion, is, with earth angels, there's a natural fight or flight response. And I see it activated more often with anxiety with earth angels. There is almost like it's triggered by either people pleasing or feeling not enough, right? And a lot of times it's unmet needs, like our emotional needs aren't being met, but we're not aware of that, so we try to do more for other people. So there is this, I don't know if you've heard of Iceman Huff, the Wim Hof method. And what he does is he has these ice baths, and he teaches people how to breathe through the fight or flight response. It's pretty incredible. Now, I got to see Wim Hof at a Tony Robbins event when I was a crew member. And it was the first time he came out, and the guy was nutso. I remember my friend that I was with, we just thought it was incredible how off the wall he was, and so unapologetically himself. Well, he's only gotten bigger after that. And so when you jump in an ice cold bath, immediately your body wants to run. It wants to escape. And so what happens is when you have experiences, maybe you're stuck in traffic and you're going to be late. Maybe somebody's going to get upset at you. Maybe you're now beating yourself up because you're like, oh, I should have left earlier. I knew this is going to happen. Or you're feeling out of control, right? Because there's traffic and people who are in accidents, and it's activating this anxiety within you. If you can, in that moment, breathe through it, if you can channel that fight or flight response into a passion, into an energy that energizes and revitalizes you through your breath work, you neutralize that anxiety over a longer period of time. Now, I can say it's easier said than done. It is really learning to be mindful and present about how you're feeling in your body. But it's these minor adjustments that can affect your health longer periods of time. And again, the affirmation, I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. This is all encompassing, right? Taking care of yourself, not because you're bad and you can't control yourself. Earth angels struggle with addictive tendencies. It's a common thing, right? We can get lost in the shadow. So regular cleansing, clearing energy work can help you tremendously. All right. Remember, your body, your mind, and your spirit is your happy place. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. I feel like we unpacked a lot. I would love to do more readings like this. So if you enjoyed this style reading, give me a thumbs up, share, subscribe to my channel. I have product that I've been designing, and in order to sell it on YouTube, I need at least 1,000 subscribers. So I believe I'm like 80% there, maybe 85% there. So if you're watching and you haven't subscribed yet and you're really enjoying it, just hit that subscribe button, and it just helps me out as well. So thank you so much for watching. I know your time is valuable, and I appreciate you. All right, so those of you who chose the peace pile, welcome. I am a being of love, and I release all negative energy. Oh yes, drama. Peace. Let's see. Ultimately, if I connect this with healing of the bloodlines, and negative beliefs, I feel like I also want to speak to an upbringing of shoulds. You should do this. You should do that. I want to also speak to those of you who may be at a point in your life and you're feeling like you're not where you should be. Maybe you're not in the relationship, or maybe you're not in the job, or maybe your finances aren't where you feel like they should be. And you're comparing yourself to others. And what's happened is creating more drama and distraction in your life. I want to speak to those who are healing the bloodlines with regards to, healing the bloodlines with regards to drama, old beliefs in the way things that should be done and where you should be in your life. I want to speak to those of you who have family bloodlines that where there's financial drama. Maybe there's lack. Maybe some of you grew up poor. Maybe somebody was controlling with finances. Because really, God wants you to be peaceful. He wants you to be peaceful with what you have in your life right now. He wants you to be peaceful with where you're at, what you're learning. And in turn, you can heal the programs, right? So maybe you have this program that, money is bad, or that people take advantage of money, or maybe there's constant drama where you've come from a family where everybody is all up in everybody's business, and it creates negative thinking, like thinking of like what people shouldn't do, and also to the way things should be or aren't because of. Earth angels we're a lot like Jesus. We're the rebels. We're the rabble rousers. We go against the norm. We're untraditional. We're free spirits, right? But we also need to learn to create healthy habits, structure, and order in our lives. If not, a lot of intuitives and healers that are coming out are ungrounded or unbalanced. They're unaware of how to manage their energy. So it's a lot of energy and then there's no energy, and it can create a disharmony in the flow of peace within you. And like I said, that all becomes bloodline. Those of you who may be workaholics, right? Maybe you had hardworking family and you have a belief system that's unseen. That's like you need to work hard to get anywhere in life. We're shining a light on those programs. Maybe it's you don't show emotion. Maybe if you're a masculine watching this, and it's like you don't show emotion and don't show weakness because you can get attacked, and these are all belief systems that are not serving us in this energy. This energy that we're living in right now is completely different. We're in a world that's, gosh, we can be anywhere in the world. We can do anything that we want, which is so empowering. And understand that the divine is, in these next decade, is going to be activating this so that you can inspire other people to do and be their best. So let's get into the mind. What is the mind message? Oh my gosh. Friends, you can't. Look at these eyes, right? Surrender the drama. Again, this is a bloodline of families who are in everybody's business, who create drama, who talk about and gossip with other people, right? There's no peace in that, right? It's easier to look at other people's faults than look at your own. So I feel like with this pile already, there's a lot of mirroring going on, right? So maybe if you're seeing people that are negative around you or gossipy or there's drama, maybe there's a part of you who's doing that to yourself in some way. Maybe you're energetically creating drama. Remember, whenever there's light and expansion, so in a lot of ways, when you want to make changes in your life, that there's parts of you that don't believe you're worthy and deserving of it, that don't believe you can achieve, like being out on your own, creating financial security, eating healthy, getting a job that you love, being able to work in an untraditional work environment, right, outside of the typical 9 to 5, being able to use your ability to create in order to bring in income. A lot of earth angels are living as if retired, but working in their passion and loving it so much. So the drama around you in the bloodlines and the family lineage could be limiting that and keeping you sucked in, right? In the psyche, what happens is that when you don't have this solid belief system or support within yourself, the ego part of you, and ego isn't always that boastful part of you, it's that part of you that might be the critic or be hard on yourself or keep pushing yourself when you're tired. So if there's any part of you that doesn't believe you can be successful in the work that you're called to do, when you start doing it, it creates disruption, distraction, disorder, disarray. And it goes back to that kind of like that fight or flight response of how to feel it in your body and transform it into passion, right? If not, it's going to keep creating drama. I also want to speak to some of you who are watching drama TV shows. So and I don't want to call any out, but this is an example that's coming. The Chicago TV programs, the Chicago PD, Chicago Med, Chicago Fire, every single one of those shows is emotional drama, right? And so for earth angels, watching that constantly when we're already in a low emotional place can activate more drama within. So if you got drama in your life, take a peek at what you're watching on TV. If you're watching drama reality shows, like you have no idea, it's like going to McDonald's every single day and eating fast food. It may be okay every once in a while, but it is not okay to eat on a regular basis. You cannot survive in a healthy way on those types of food. So, and there's plenty of research out there. There's plenty of people who have tried. And so understand that this drama and this like people who are very culturally into religion, like the old world religion of like 20 years ago would instill a lot of fear. There was a lot of control, and it was disrupting people's peace, and people would put their power in other people's hands. And as everything is, as God is shining a light on the shadow and true colors are coming out and all these things are being exposed, we're seeing how unpeaceful and unfulfilled the world has been. All right, so what's going on in the body? What message for the body? Oh, I love it. Prayer. And I'm seeing the lemons right here. It's like when life gives you lemons, make lemonade, right? So here's the thing. I want to speak to that part of you of maybe also too, you're in a job that in your bloodlines, it's you need to have the security of a corporate job, a 9-to-5, a regular paycheck. Maybe, and that is so true for many people in the world, but for earth angels, in the way we operate, we're more creative energies, we're more expansive energies. So this can become like a jail sentence. So maybe some of you are having programs of your family that's like, you've got to keep your 9-to-5. It's a regular paycheck, but also understand for creative people, it limits your flow, right? It limits your access to wealth because somebody's dictating what you're worth and the work that you have to perform in order to do that work. So again, maybe in the lineage, some of you came from a long history of workers, people who worked in corporate environments or worked hard, worked in factories. And so here you are carrying that energy in from the womb, feeling like you need to do that to feel financially secure. But there's a part of you that's not feeling peaceful or fulfilled. So the universe is saying, here is where they want you to be, right? When life gives you lemons, make lemonade. And how do you do that? Through prayer. I feel like there's a part of God right here, or the divine, that's saying, we know that it's so hard to get out of this. We know that addiction in all facets is rampant, especially a challenge that earth angels have to overcome. And in the Bible, it talks about how, we need to sacrifice the 3D. Our wants, our impulsiveness. And so maybe some of you are being asked to pray for assistance to hide the credit cards. Really take a couple days before you purchase something if your finances are in disarray. Pray for God to assist you with looking at your family, observing your family from a different perspective instead of getting sucked into the drama. God is saying that I can take this and turn it into this. I can take this and turn it into this. And remember, we're never separate from the divine. We can forget. We can go unconscious. And this is why prayer needs to be, for earth angels, a regular part of our daily practice. No, I'm not talking about sitting down and making an hour. I'm talking about 10 minutes a day. I get up in the morning and I listen to some preacher, speaker talk about God. I sit down and I just kind of connect. It's quick. And then at night before I go to bed, I listen to, on YouTube, there is the Abide channel. I think there's an Abide app, and it's Christian bedtime stories. And a lot of them are only 15 minutes and they just repeat over and over and over again. And I have to say, I've been doing that for about a month and a half now. And I wake up peaceful, friends. I wake up grounded. I go to bed with some beautiful soul praying over me. So this isn't even anything that you have to sit down and do. All you have to be open is to receive it. Receive that prayer over you, and it's just so comforting to hear somebody talk about how much God loves us in the divine. So again, instead of being in this, God is saying this is the way to this. Okay, and what does the Spirit want you to know? Drunk with love. Let love lift you to freedom. Peace and freedom go hand in hand, right? Peace, love, and freedom. So some of you, maybe a lot of you, were raised on conditional love. our religious upbringings were, if you don't do this, then God will this. So if you don't go to church every Sunday, God will punish you. And people do it with Santa Claus too, right? They're taking some beautiful essence and distorting it to control, right? Some people will say, oh, if you don't behave, Santa Claus isn't coming, and it creates a distorted view of authority, that there's a program in the lineage that says, if you don't do what I ask you to do, you're going to be punished. And God is the ultimate Father. He's the ultimate supreme, but he's not vengeful, right? He's not resentful. He's not passive aggressive by any means. And so it's the conditioning that teaches us about that, about authority and our higher power, right? And so when you have this inner part of you that has that belief system, it's going to create drama. You're going to get farther and farther away from the divine. So God is saying, I want you to be drunk on love. Let love lift you to freedom. And this is self-love. This is inner love. This is learning for you to accept yourself as you are. Yes, you may not be where you want to be. You might not be in the financial position. Your body may not look like the way you want. You might not be in the most ideal job or family situation. Maybe you're not living in the most ideal place. But if you can accept it, if you can stop fighting it and resisting, if you can accept that this is the will of where I am right now, what can I learn from this? Who am I because of it? What is it teaching me about my own needs, right? If you're not happy in your living situation, then you know what? A need for you is safety and protection, to feel supported, to feel surrounded by love, right? So God is saying that it's through these experiences that I'm teaching you about yourself, and you'll be able to love yourself on deeper levels. It's from that place of acceptance that you can be open to receive divine inspired action so that you can move forward one step at a time. It's all baby steps. God hears you, and so we have to relinquish control of the mind, of the way we think things need to be. We really have to shelter ourselves away from drama, TV, comparing yourself to others and where they're at and where you're at. It's really just going to rob you of your joy. So what action steps? There's two here. So the first is share your gifts. So you see this person who's sharing this. Oh, you know what? I just got. So there's this person that's sharing their gifts. It looks like an abundance of food here, and this person is sharing. I just got to looking at this, and you have the masculine and feminine energy, and I'm feeling like maybe some of you, your own inner masculine and feminine, are duking it out. If you're feeling in your solar plexus a tug of war, like you need to curb your finances. If you know in your body that, or you feel in your body that your finances are a mess. For example, debt is out of control and you're spending and you're feeling like not enough. It could be a war of the inner masculine and feminine, and they're duking it out, doing passive aggressive stuff like, oh yeah, you want me to do this? Well, I'm not going to listen to you. I'm going to spend this money, or I'm going to go buy this, or I'm going to make these decisions. So I feel like I want to speak to this, saying that God wants to help you balance out your own inner masculine and feminine energy, that your own inner masculine and feminine energy have gifts. Masculine energy has the most beautiful gift of warmth that allows things to grow, right? Feminine energy thrives on feeling the essence of love. When a feminine energy receives love, she creates life, right? She's able to create life in her body. I mean, that is to the magnitude of when the feminine is feeling an essence of love. And so what we're learning is that we cannot keep going outside of our own physical body and outside of the divine to have love sustain us. And this is why there's a lot of drama and distortion in relationships right now. And so I feel like the divine is asking you to work on your own inner masculine and inner feminine. It's your own inner mother and inner father, and it's a different vibration from your own parents, because there could be a lot of distortion there as well. People do the best they can with what they have, but we're awakening, friends. So I feel like the feminine here, it's an embodiment of a feminine energy, sharing with the masculine, right? So I feel like some of you out there, you may be rejecting your masculine. You may be picking up on the media stuff in the world and how they're going after the masculine energy. Not all masculine energy is like that. Masculine energy is incredibly loving and protective and soothing and just really like smart. Not that the feminine isn't, but the feminine has her own gifts of softness, of receptivity, of intuition. She sees color and beauty in the world, which is the gift that she offers to the masculine. So I feel like they're calling you out here and saying, listen, if you're pissed off at men or masculine energies in the world, you could be having some battle within. And I feel like the universe is saying, make peace. Makes peace with your inner masculine or inner feminine. Share your gifts of bountifulness to nourish, right? The feminine energy thrives on receiving love, but also to feeling nourished and cherished, right? And so she's using her nourishing gifts to feed the masculine. In turn, the masculine protects. Wow, that's powerful. And of course, 6 plus 2 is 8, and 8 is an abundant number. It's a God number. It's a vibrational number. Of course, this color is like orange here, which reminds me of sacral chakra, which is joy and pleasure. So really, if you've got relationship stuff going on right now and your parents didn't have a healthy relationship stuff, this is speaking to before you even get into that relationship, you got to know yourself. You got to balance out your own inner masculine and inner feminine. They've got to come to a truce and they've got to work together because each has its own gifts. And this is how masterfully beautiful masculine and feminine energies, the polar energies, come together, and they just create power. They create abundance. They create all levels, right, of love on a higher level. But remember, if you're feeling that void within yourself from lack of love, you're only going to bring in an illusion of love. It will be love for a little bit, but it will never sustain. Okay, and so the other action is you are safe. I love that. So I feel like that's where you start, right? So there's this inner masculine and feminine. And so if you in the bloodline didn't feel safe as a child, if, for some of you, maybe you were raised by single moms who were out and needed to work. And so they weren't able to meet your emotional needs, but they were able to provide and protect and create physical needs being met. A lot of earth angels are now learning about their own emotional needs being met that nobody can really do but our own self. So I feel like God here is saying you're safe. You're safe and protected, and I've got your back. Remember that. And so you remember that through prayer. And then finally, what's being activated? Third eye chakra, your gift of insight, right? It is your intuitive gifts, the knowledge and wisdom. It's your gift of vision. It says the frequency of the third eye chakra, the indigo flower of life, supports our intuition and our inner knowing, our imagination and our psychic powers. So I feel like the divine is saying here that you have a mission on the planet here, and it's coming through your own gifts. Nobody can tell you. It's an experience, and I have to say, take it from somebody who, I was called, I went down a wrong path for a long time, and I had a lot of healing. I still have a lot of healing, and I can tell you that my relationship with God has been my saving grace. It is through me being able to experience the divine through my third chakra, right? Through my third eye chakra, which is in between your eyebrows and your forehead. And This is also the energy of trust in the IET system, or integrated energy system, healing modality that I use. The third eye chakra, we imprint the energy of trust, and we clear out any energies of distrust. So the divine is saying you've got to trust yourself first. If you don't trust yourself that you're safe and protected, that you have the skills to find this inner peace, and you're putting that trust or you're putting that energy in the drama, what's going to happen is you're going to get like distorted energy, and you're not going to fully feel peace within. So if you're distrusting God, which I have to tell you, I had been there, work on that. Pray. Ask God to show you what you need to know. And remember, this is a soul journey. Soul as in singular. So of course, what I do is I support people on their journey, and I can shine a light on things, and I can give you very valuable tools that I've learned along the way to support you. But in no way can I tell you what your future is. I don't think anybody can. I think there are people who can manipulate it, and through law of attraction, things can happen. But I believe when you are in full control, when you're in your full king, or in your full queen, or you're in your emperor and empress energy, you know that that only comes from your higher power. And everybody has different seeds and a different vibration to be activated right now. But God needs you to be able to see it, feel it, and experience it, because it's going to be in the unseen. Well, whew, deep breath. All right, so let's leave that there. So for those of you that chose pile 2, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this reading, click that like button if it resonated with you. Let me know in the comments, what your healing journey has been. Maybe it can help other people if you're open to doing that. Definitely subscribe. I have my first product that I would love to sell. In order to do that on YouTube, I need at least 1,000 subscribers, and I'm like 85% there. So if you're watching, you haven't subscribed yet, and you're inspired by these readings, click that subscribe button. If you know anybody who can benefit from this, please share my channel. And I know your time is valuable, and I appreciate you spending your time with me. Okay. So for those of you who chose the trust pile, welcome. So right now in this moment, friends, sorry, I paused for a little bit. I'm just feeling overwhelmed with love. I feel like the divine is coming in to remind you to trust the universe, the maternal love and wisdom and energy. I feel like I want to speak to the deep shadow of those of you whose trust was betrayed when you were little. Maybe it was abuse in some form. Abuse could be neglect. It could be physical abuse. It could be emotional, verbal abuse. It could be distortion of your own spiritual journey. Maybe some of you were raised in your lineage with very hardcore religious belief systems and programs. And maybe you're now coming into your own empowered self. I feel like the divine wants to remind you that you're turning your pain into passion right now. And the universe is working on helping you be able to trust yourself in the world, trust what feels good, the right people to be around, what you're guided and supported by. Of course, again, it says, I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly, right? So this is your deep inner knowing. So when I think about the voice, I think about the throat chakra and your ability to show up in the world and say, this is who I am. And sometimes that's a hard thing to do. I mean, my calling. So the work that I do is a calling. I cannot not do it. It's a passion. It's a fire within me. And I truly believe God picked me for a reason to do the work that I'm doing, and I can't not do it. And I'm so very grateful that I found my thing. And so in the 3D world, I sometimes find it difficult when I meet new people to share what I do, because there's a lot of stigma. There's a lot of belief systems about the type of work that I do, and there's a lot of perception of what people think I do, what I actually do, and what me, my own personal human part, wants to do. So many earth angels now are coming out and speaking their truth. This is who I am. For example, I have a career and I've built a business that relies solely on my intuition, which is my connection to the divine. Do you know somebody who has trust issues, how that has been a tug of war? Well, I should say had trust issues, that I had to clear that out in order for me to deepen my own practice in the where I want to develop it. So trust, the energy of trust, is in the third eye. In my integrated energy system, a healing modality, we learn that distrust, the emotions of distrust, are stored in the third eye or forehead area. So if you're getting stress headaches, tension in the forehead, or you feel like your intuition has been distorted and you're not able to trust it, you can call on the angel Gabriel. Angel Gabriel helps with trust, imprints the energy of trust. You can do a third eye chakra healing to cleanse and clear your third eye. It may need to be something that you need to do on a regular, and above all, learning to trust yourself. Earth angels, the beauty of earth angels, and I see this in myself, there's such an innocence. There's such a compassion, a deep level of love in earth angels. They genuinely care and they genuinely want people to be better. And I always say that's one thing I love the most about myself is my innocence, is my ability to see love in everything. Now, sometimes because of that, what I've learned is that if we're open all the time, there are distorted energies or shadow energies out there who will want to come in and take advantage of that. Own that, capitalize on it, suppress it, make it theirs, right? And this is the whole dynamic with the narcissist and the earth angel. I forget what they call empath and narcissist. Because really the way we were raised in a lot of levels, a lot of earth angels were raised to trust authorities outside of ourselves. A lot of earth angels have had divine gifts of intuition, but they might have had bloodlines and lineage that made it taboo, right? Maybe you're in a soul group where they burned you at the stake, or they beheaded you or drowned you for your spiritual gifts. So you're carrying this vibration of distrust that could be going back to past lives. And so as you now come out into the world and saying, I'm an intuitive and I have these gifts and I'm helping people on deeper levels with their mental health, with their spiritual connection, of course the distortion and the distorted energy is going to want to suppress that, because if you are in your full power, you don't need anything in this world. Meaning you don't need to buy anything, you don't need any more sneakers, you don't need any more clothes, you don't need any more TV, you don't need to spend money on more food that's not going to help your body. You're not going to, spend money on things that aren't not nourishing you in some way. And so I feel like this pile of the universe is speaking to you in that heartache and betrayal, distrust of authority figures growing up, but understand it was through that pain that activated our gifts of perception and intuition. Because we grew up unconsciously unsafe, or because we felt unsafe in the world. Maybe you had parents that argued, or like I said, maybe you had parents or an absent parent, especially with the the absence of the father energy, which is the provide and protect energy, you learn that you've got to trust yourself in the world, that you're not safe, right? And so I feel like the universe wants for you to go within your own body, to learn to trust your own self, to be able to trust the decisions that you're making. And really, we got to kind of make mistakes and make adjustments and learn from them. It's all a big giant experience here on this planet. So let's see. Let's go into the message of the mind. Oh, surrender to prayer. This came up in the last reading too, with prayer. So again, I feel like God is calling you back home, saying, you can trust me. And it's interesting because this color is the third eye chakra color. So some of you might need a third eye chakra clearing or cleansing. You can just go on YouTube and really, you don't even need, it doesn't even need to be guided. It could be third eye chakra music. That could be something that you listen and you just imagine. I always see when I'm doing my work on the third eye chakra for people, I always see like glasses and they're dirty. When you just wear your glasses and you're getting stuff on them from your face or your handprints or something and they're just cloudy. And then you go and you clean your glasses and it's like, oh my God, I can see, they're so clear. Well, that's what the third eye chakra meditation and music will do. It'll kind of clear up your third eye so that you're very clear about the guidance that you're getting. And prayer does that as well. Prayer is like the cloth when you're rubbing. Prayer is like the tool to clear the lens, if that makes sense. So the message says, give yourself over completely to prayer. When you pray from your heart, you will be heard throughout the universe. The answers and support will arrive. So this is speaking to part of the collective that might not feel like they have anybody to trust. That maybe you've had people in your life, maybe you've had bosses, maybe you have coworkers that have betrayed you, maybe you've had, like I said, family that you tried to help and they just turned on you or took advantage of you. And if that's happened to you, friends, I'm so sorry. It's hard, and the blessing that I could see in my history that I can maybe share with you is that it was through the experience that I had that activated my own intuition. I learned at a very young age how to keep myself safe by being able to read people, mannerisms, energy, So here's the thing. If I needed to have those experiences to be my training, to learn how to read energy and do what I do now, it was all worth it. I'm saying, like, I'm hoping that there's a younger generation of Earth Angels watching these videos so that you can cut out years of pain. When I first started doing this work 12 years ago, I'm going into my 13th year, 12 years ago, most of my clientele were women that were in their late 40s, 50s, and 60s. And now, here I am 12 years into it, and I'm 40 now. I am working with girls as young as 16, 17-year-olds. I'm working with men who are open to changing and really digging in and unpacking their emotions and their feelings. I'm working with women and men who are in their 20s, that are in their 30s, that are in their 40s. So it's really shifting. And I say, gosh, I sat with a client who was 30 years old the other day, and I'm thinking, girl, I wish I had this then. You got a 10-year jump on me. And I think that's the gift of being a teacher. I think that's the gift of being a spiritual person, is I now have an opportunity to share all that I've learned with a younger generation of people so that they can have happy, healthy, committed relationships and expand and become powerful energies on this planet. And it really starts with prayer and surrendering into it. All right, I feel like I'm preaching and going off here. So let's get back into the body. What does the body need you to know? Oh, yes, passion. So let me see here. Do you see? So this is sacral chakra. It's joy. Do you see this being? It's like she's all lit up, and I feel like she's using her divine gifts to help someone who's not in the light. So I want to speak to those of you who maybe you are made fun of in the bloodlines. Maybe you are made fun of because of your intuition or your sensitivity, or maybe you were talking about seeing things or feeling things and somebody told you it was the devil's work. Maybe, like I said, you had like family that really suppressed that within you. And it made you not trust your own self, your own intuition, your own instincts, and you've been negating that, and you keep recreating these situations where people take advantage and hurt you. And so I feel like the universe is saying here, this is your gifts. And let me speak to intuition and inner guidance is the feminine. It is the ultimate feminine energy. And for eons, remember, because it can't be controlled. When you get divine hits and you get feelings into it and it can't be explained, that freaks people out. When I sit here and I'm doing my mediumship readings, I'm sharing information about stuff I couldn't possibly know. It freaks people out. Of course, there's deep levels of healing and openness, and I just literally see people's grief transform, and that's the power. But it's freaky, and of course people would want to suppress that. So I feel like your guides are saying you need to really move into this place of being able to trust yourself, because this is what we need you for. We need you to be able to share your divine gifts, because there's this sleeper world out here that needs it, that needs to be open and receptive. This is a joy. This will bring joy to the planet. It will bring passion. When we can awaken people with our light, it inspires them to be better, to smile and laugh and sing and play and dance. So, and the other body card that came out, forgiveness, of course, right? So again, here we have the third eye chakra, right? There may be some of you, so forgiveness in a lot of ways is acceptance. Accepting an experience. So if you can think about that word, so unforgiveness is held in the liver, the gallbladder, and spleen, and it can activate emotions of anger, resentment, and bitterness. Now, anger is a very natural, feminine emotion. It moves energy. And I know a lot of feminines who were raised, we were taught to suppress our anger and that we needed to be ladylike, right? So you didn't trust yourself and your emotions because you were told they were bad, which is actually a normal human emotion. So sometimes we need to yell, sometimes we need to like bang a pillow, sometimes we need to throw rocks in the woods, sometimes we need to go for a run or something to kind of like outlight that energy. So I feel like this card wants you to forgive yourself and accept where you're at and in experiences that happen to you. So you may not like it. I'm not saying acceptance means that you like what happened to you or the place that you're in, but if you can accept, this is where I'm at right now, and I have a baseline. And from here, this is how I want to feel. This is what I want to move towards. So some of you might be harboring unforgiveness. This is an opportunity to, as you clear the bloodlines, to grieve the loss of what you didn't get to have. Maybe you didn't get to have that upbringing in a house that you wanted. Maybe you didn't get to have meals, family meals. Maybe you didn't get to have regular sit-down dinners. Maybe you didn't get to have a father or mother in your life. Maybe you didn't get to have a really great school experience. And so there's a part of you that needs to accept that. And in that you can take from like who are you because of it? I didn't get to grow up with my grandparents. I didn't get to have the family dynamic that I had when I was younger. And so I needed to accept that, right? And as I accepted that, God brought other people in my life that were like those parts. So God brought people in my life that were like godparents to me. They were my spiritual advisor godparents. God brought people into my life. I have a wonderful bookkeeper who is like a masculine teaching me about finances, right? A father energy teaching me about finances and structure with money. I have an adopted grandma, right? So and we have dinners regularly. So there's this dynamic of when we can accept where we're at, it opens up room for those to come in other ways, right? And in turn, it activates this passion for you to want to be the beautiful gift to the planet. So again, there's parts of you that needs to grieve. So maybe you didn't get to have those parents that snuggled up with you, but the symbolism here is, but you got the rhino, right? You got the rhino, snuggle up to the rhino. It's cozy there. So there's a lot of acceptance going on here. Prayer to lift your burdens, to lift the guilt, the regrets, the anger, the resentment, so that you can trust yourself on deeper levels. And so the spirit message was simple pleasures. It says, look for beauty that is all around you. It's really easy to get caught up in what we didn't get to have. It's not fair. The victim energy, and in that we can get caught up with we can't trust the world. We can't trust authority figures in the world. You can't trust your boss. You can't trust your president. You can't trust the neighbor. You can't trust. Do you see how that just becomes an infection? And now you see all the reasons why you can't trust. And it could be programs where people said, oh, you can't trust this, or you can't trust that. So take a look at how those repetitive messages have really affected it. Now, the beauty is you can call on God and you can ask him to clear that stuff, right? This is where all this amazing, incredible energy work is, right? My magnified healing sessions, my integrated energy therapy sessions, even my Reiki sessions are clearing these energy imprints that you're carrying from the womb, from generations of ancestors that have carried these programs. It's a really big time to clear this energy. And so simple ways is looking at simple pleasures. Me and my cousin, every day we share our gratitude. We get on Marco Polo and we talk about what we're grateful for. Sometimes it's like a mundane day and there's not a lot going on. And I always am grateful for a mundane, boring, basic day, because those are the simple times. So it's really how you look at things, right? And the more you see the beauty in the world, the more you work with forgiveness and acceptance, the more you're going to see this, which will call more of that into your life. So action steps, what actions can you take? Put others first. So let's see here. What does this mean? Put others first. I feel like this might be a call to action for some of you, not every one of you, for some of you who have been receiving a lot. Maybe it's time to give. Maybe some of you can go to an animal shelter and take the animals for a walk. Maybe some of you, I feel like some of you, so the message here is some of you have gone into hermit mode and you've been isolated for a while and you're doing all this inner work, and so you're clearing the bloodline. So the action is here. Maybe it's get out and buy somebody dinner, take somebody to lunch. Maybe it is doing something nice for somebody. Maybe it's buying somebody a coffee and surprising them. Maybe it is taking care of the animals. Maybe it's bringing some food to a shelter. So now I know I love animals. I'm almost obsessive about them. And I know my needs. I know myself. I know I cannot go to a shelter because I will want to take them all home and I will go on a downward spiral for days. But what I can do is I can bring food to the shelter. I can call them up and see if they need any blankets, if there's anything that they need, and I can go and I can provide those supplies for the animals. And I can say a prayer for them. So I feel like some of you may have been so deep in your inner work. Maybe you're doing a lot of work, or you're just feeling isolated and you're feeling like hermit mode. Maybe you're in that empathic part of like, I can't people, right? So you got to learn to balance and maintain your energy. And so maybe it's getting out there. Maybe it's getting out there, enjoying the simple pleasures of giving, being part of something. Maybe it's signing up and volunteering for something. There's so much out there, and really just pray, ask God, like how should you give? It doesn't always have to be monetary. Giving somebody the go at a stop sign, or letting somebody in at an intersection or traffic can really, if you do that, if you ever practice that, if you ever practice letting somebody in, so maybe somebody's coming out of a parking lot if it's safe. Now, there are a lot of major roads where for you to stop and let somebody in, it's going to cause more havoc than help. But if you're in a position where you can slow traffic to let somebody out of a parking lot, most often you'll see them helping somebody else out. So it's so classic with law of attraction. When you let somebody in, they appreciate it, and then they slow down, they've got gratitude, and then they let somebody else in. So you could be the ripple effect. That's why I say you can do it on a regular basis. Just ask God, how do I help the people? Maybe it's a kind word. Maybe it's telling somebody that they look nice in a collar that they're wearing if they do. Those are like teaching people about the simple pleasures, but also you're able to give as well, which can ignite that passion within. And then final message, I love it. What's being activated within you? Gaia, number 28. So 28 is 10. 10 equals 1. This is the beginning of a cycle. Taking care of Mother Earth, nurturing and loving that energy. So the card says the frequency of Gaia reminds us that we are infinitely connected to one another, just as we are to our great mother and the universe that birthed us all. So I feel like what's being activated in you is oneness. When you can trust this force, when you can trust this vibration that's all love, all powerful, when you can believe that you're worthy and deserving of that, and then you can trust the downloads you're getting, the information you're getting, the hits that you're getting to be able to create and put your passions of being compassionate, being motherly, being supportive, being nurturing, being nourishing, when you can activate those gifts in the world and also balance that for yourself, love, self-care, gentleness, ease, you get back to that maternal energy. So that's what's being activated on this planet. We're getting out of the do and the constant action and the hunt, and we're getting into the receptivity, the getting back into creating love and beauty in the world through our divine gifts. And when you do that, it creates abundance and money in ways that becomes like a byproduct, right? So when you're accessing deeper levels of your passions and your gifts, you're now being guided to create things. For example, this channel, right? I was guided to create this channel, and what I can create with this channel is infinite, right? There's so many ways I can help people, and that just ignites my passion even more so. So understand that we're getting back to this maternal, wanting to support, wanting to help, wanting to love people, but you also need to get back to that maternal and mothering yourself. Like I said, if you had a mother that you couldn't trust that might have been critical of you in the bloodlines, or a grandmother who was hypercritical of you, pull yourself back, remind yourself you're not those things. Ask God to show you who you are. And when you start seeing the simple pleasures in the world, the beauties of a flower, or the beauty of a bird, or the beauty of a song of a bird, when you can see all these beautiful things in the world, know that they're reflective of parts of you that are within you. Maybe this is also a message for some of you to get out in nature. Watch nature, right? Nature has a cycle. Nature is cycles. So what cycle are you in? Spring, summer, fall, winter?